everyone, my name is Rina Maris Abay, a fourth-year student taking Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management, and today I will discuss to you the SWOT analysis for Mambucal Mountain Resort, and I'll answer different questions about sustainability as the key for the future of hospitality industry, clean energy, and fuel source that are using here in my town. Now, let's start with the SWOT analysis for Mambucal Mountain Resort. But first, let me introduce to you the Mambucal Mountain Resort. Mambucal Mountain Resort lies 1,200 feet above sea level and serves as a gateway to Mount Kanlaon Natural Park. Originally developed by a Japanese architect named Kokichi Po Ichiwata in 1927, the resort started as a bathhouse and picnic garden and has provided cool haven for Negrenses and their guests. And for me, I am proudly to recommend this to all nature lovers. No other resort in Visayas gives one of a holistic experience of nature that invigate the mind and soul, transporting you all visitors to a realm of peace and tranquility, and the journey starts here at the gateway of Mambucal. Now, let's talk about the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats of Mambucal Mountain Resort. All information that I will mention was all based on my experience, from my friends' experience, and from respondent gives feedback for this resort. Now, let's start with Mountain Resort first with the strength. It has an affordable entrance fee, cottages, and activity fee in the resort, spectacular views and natural features, great atmosphere, eco-friendly, pet-friendly, has recreational activities like wide boating and lagoon, butterfly garden, and a forest that are full of bats. Accessible for everyone. Peaceful place. Approachable staff or friendly staffs, and has a great affordable accommodation. They are not easy to contact with their social media, lots of restaurant, lack of transportation in the restaurant, limited access to some facilities, and limited activities like in kayak or boat, butterfly watching during rainy season. Also, they are lacking of security in some area, limited choices of souvenirs, difficulty to access of hospitals in case of emergency because it is far from the city. Food courts that are available in the resort has a bad routing smell, and they are unstable access of network. Renovation in some areas in the resorts like making the floors even in the area of falls. Few competitors in area, expansion of restaurants, food court and some souvenir shops, celebrity endorsement and development of some products and souvenirs. Also, promotional activities like group promo for less expenses to lower class guests, renovation some of the facilities like some cottage into a modern cottage, improving of some areas like falls climbing, making the area more stable, not slippery and safe for everyone. There are lacking of shopping trends, lack of security for children in some places like in falls, natural disaster like nearby volcano landslide during rainy days, limited use of some facilities due to technical constraints, heavily depends on tourism which is natural disaster, sulfur smell, changes of price due to tax increase, worker strikes, transportation restrictions, and innovations in technologies, services, and ideas. My recommendation or conclusion about this area or the Mambucal Mountain Resort is making sure the safety of everyone, not just the guests but also the workers in this resort. According to my friends, family in my hometown, Mambucal Mountain Resort is a well-known place for every Negrosanan, and there are lots of accidents, especially in falls area. Because of the uneven ground and slippery condition in that area, there are lots of people fell, hurt, and sadly died. That area should be improved or renovate, making sure that it's safe for everyone who are cleaning that area, who are observing that area, visiting or enjoying that area. The safety and security of everyone is the number one priority of each resort and hotels. So Making an improvement in this area can reduce or prevent injuries, reduce the occurrence of slips, trips, and falls, and with this, they can secure the safety of the workers and especially the guests. So, inside of the resort, like food courts or restaurants, should be improved, especially the bad rooting smell that causes vomiting of some guests and makes them appetite lost. So the bad rooting smell can affect the performance of the workers in that area. It should be improved and clean every day. That bad smell can create a stress to everyone, and that is not good for the health of the guests and workers. So making sure the cleanliness of that area is a must. So every area of the resort should have an emergency patrol teams for them to ensure the safety of everyone. This patrol team to act and cure and for the guests to feel that they are safe, especially for their children. For every nature lover, I can suggest this resort who loves to have a peaceful place. I highly recommend this place if they will visit Negros Occidental. Every hospitality industry wants to be sustainable for a lot of obvious reasons, and these are saving money, caring for environment, and for their guests. First, sustainability saves us money by reducing spending and wasting. And in hospitality management or industry, we should be reducing and stop wasting for the good profit and feedback we receive from the guests. Second, sustainability helps our environment. Environment is one of the most sought after in hospitality industry. Also, it gives us a public relation advantage over competing operations that don't care about efforts to be green. But there's another important reason for hotels and the hospitality industry to embrace sustainability. No matter where you look in food, beverage, travel and tourism, or hotels and hospitalities, there is one common theme of which everyone should be aware. And one of those trends for sustainability, or a good example, is the millennials. Millennials are demanding sustainability on their vacations. They are driving the ever-expanding ecotourism boom in hotels or restaurants, and they want hotels that embrace green and sustainability practices. Sustainability improves the quality of our life, protects our ecosystem, and preserves natural resources for future generations. So that's why sustainability is the key for the future of hospitality industry. Many of us might assume that the reason so much energy still comes from gas and coal power plants is simple economics. Those fuels are cheaper, but though it was once true, that assumption has actually been obfuscated by a recent decline in solar and wind costs over the past decade. When it comes to the cost of energy from new power plants, onshore wind and solar are now the cheapest resources, costing less than gas, geothermal, coal, or nuclear. Solar in particular has cheapened at a blistering pace. Just 10 years ago, it was the most expensive option for building a new energy development. Since then, that cost has dropped by 90%, according to the data from the Levelist Cost of Energy report and as highlighted recently by our World in Data. Utility-scale solar arrays are now the least costly option to build and operate. Clean energy is important because renewable energy provides reliable power supplies and fuel diversification, which enhance energy security, lower risk of fuel spills, and reduce their need for imported fuels. Renewable energy also helps conserve the nation's natural resources. Also, it promotes health and wellness. In what way or how it promotes in health and wellness? By clean energy means less exposure to harmful emotions and less consumptions of natural resources. And the proof is clean energy resources like solar and wind have no harmful impacts on the air and water we consume. In hospitality industry, when making an activity that are sustainable, it will define an activity as an action or process that uses one or more resources and that responds either wholly or partially to a demand. A sustainability condition is met when the duration, cost, and chain of dependent activities satisfy the demand. Nowadays, sustainability is usually defined as the process and action through which humankind avoid the depletion of natural resources. In order to keep an ecological balance that doesn't allow the quality of life of modern societies to decrease. When making an activity, we should consider the environment, whether we are contributing to the environment or we are destroying or harming our environment. Sustainability is one of the sought when doing an activity for our own wants, needs, or demand. We all know sustainability improves the quality of our lives, protects our ecosystem, and preserves natural resources for future generations. Some of the events they always consider the environment, like having a green approach, choosing an eco-friendly location, or rent a event place that is eco-friendly. And also, they are cutting down food waste. When it comes to a product, it is usually considered sustainable if it doesn't deplete natural, non-renewable resources, and these are a sustainable product that are made from renewable resources. In other words, resources that can be fully depleted. With those considerations, we can create a green and sustainable event or activity. The fuel sources in my area or here in the Sampaloc, Manila, Balik-Balik is Meralco. In our home, we are using Meralco Kuryente Load. Meralco Kuryente Load is a prepaid electricity service, and according to my research, it was the first prepaid electricity service here in the Philippines, where you just need your phone and load electricity in your home. There are disadvantages when using a Meralco Kuryente Load, like it has a sudden or unplanned deduction, like it costs 500 plus even though we are not consuming that much of electricity. Next, if you have no money, then you will have no electricity at home because it is a prepaid electricity service, unlike to a postpaid. Next, the alternate energy source here in our home in case of blackout or brownouts is a UPS or uninterruptible power supply. During power surges and failures, uninterruptible power supply or UPS devices keep computer systems and IT equipment safe and operational. A UPS provides battery backup power when the flow of electricity drops to an inadequate voltage or if it stops. These UPS are only for computers and Wi-Fi because my mom is a call center agent and she needs a power because she is working at home and for her to not be interrupted. So UPS or the 6 battery backups outlet with surge protection that keeps computers, modems, routers, office equipment, and more running when utility power is off or outside of safe levels. UPS or a hardware and a data are also protected from catastrophic power strikes, spikes, surges, and electrical noise. So UPS is our alternative energy source.